Namaste, Shoma.
Namaste, Arun. Yes.
How are you?
Yeah,
Fine?
I'm fine, fine. I'm doing fine. I was just worried कि अभी I was you shared the link of this Asli Shiksha का वो channel, so I saw viewed few of the one of the videos to one or two videos, और तब मुझे लगा कि अरे ये तो सब veteran in fields of homeschooling है. So I'm fairly new in that, so I don't know how can I add anything on to that. But ठीक है, I trust you on that. I know you can guide me to the
No.
right
So
path.
we've been talking for a really long time about education, about schooling, and we've known each other for a long time.
From
Uh,
2006
yeah,
onward.
2006. Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's 16 years, huh?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think that was probably the time we started homeschooling. 2006, our children.
Yes, yes, I remember when I joined office, we were contemplating leaving Kolkata.
Right.
Ah,
So, in this series of conversations with people who are actually homeschooling, I thought you are a very good candidate to catch on to because there is alignment, in our way of looking at things, and because we've been talking for so long. Tell us your story.
Yeah. First thing that I would like to say is that I mean, really, if it is about some theories or philosophies or something like that. So as of now, even till today, I really have not read many books or anything, and guided by any big principle. I have been inspired and influenced, but not nothing like that. So if when I will be sharing my journey with you now, or what I mean, we will having this during this conversation, what I can do is that my, this entire learning process, I tell that this homeschooling thing is my learning process instead of my kids' learning process. To just begin with, I have a 9-year-old son, Vishka. So why I say that? Because these are mostly some incident driven. Something happened during conversation with someone, something I observed, something I noticed, and that sparked something inside me, and then organically or consequently it led to something. That way it happened. Now to begin with homeschooling, as for my sake, what I have experienced, while having conversation with people or meeting, and I got this thing that if you're homeschooling, and fairly the idea, general idea in India, at least I can say that if you're homeschooling your child, there can be four circumstances. One is that you're very affluent, very financially, well managed and well settled. So you're doing this experiment because you're not very, bothered about or worried about your kids' future. कि अगर कुछ भी नहीं होगा, experiment बेकार हो जाएगा, तो हम संभाल लेंगे, enough है, you can inherit it, and his future will be secure. Number two, you are highly educated, so that's why you think that you can teach and guide your children better than the school environment. And then there is another category that they think that there might be some physical or some mental developmental issues with your child, so you have not put him or her in the mainstream school. And fourth one is that you're that they said the activist kind of person, very radical, सबसे बहुत नाराज है, गुस्सा है, this is सब very anti society, so you're there. Now, as I introduce myself, is that I belong to none of these four categories. एक भी मेरे साथ match नहीं होता. So it is, as I said, so that's why I said in the beginning that it was more like that few things kept on happening, and then I started, some questions came in my mind. I wanted to find the answer, and accordingly I have taken action. And while seeking the answers, then I found the, tried, and then it happened that I met kind of people or read some literature that helped me to progress towards that journey. So and I say that this thing because I, first of all, I don't belong to any of the four categories I mentioned. And if it is like for getting any influence or inspiration from childhood, no, it is not like that, because दूर तक खानदान में कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि homeschool उन्होंने किया होगा and all that. So my introduction to this concept of homeschooling was First, actually you, because when I joined office, you were the first person. This is something I came to know. I was not even aware of this concept of homeschooling at all. So this was my introduction to this through you. And then of course I read about, because your blogs, you know, I am a very dedicated and loyal reader of your blogs for a long time. I do that. But yes, there is something to be inspired and influenced, and then there is another thing that you implement and in your life. So that happened later, one by one. So, of course, I mean, when we were working together, we saw your journey. We were, very eager, and I was reading your blogs and everything. But the main thing, of course, it happens when I become a mother, and then, of course, the education thing that came to in the the main picture. That thing became the main picture. So when Nishkal was around the age of 2 or something, by that time already in the society, we have not put him in the Montessori play school by that time. So I realized that there was some sort of questions and discomfort around neighbors and friends, and said, 2 years old, haven't sent to school yet. What will happen? इसके बाद बड़े स्कूल में कैसे जाएगा? And then my question was 2 years old. Yeah, he can't even speak properly. I mean, if there is something happens to him, if he does likes or doesn't like, how will he express? No, he's missing out in socialization. Missing out in the socialized part, I found is a big part of the conversation, which later on I found pretty ironical, because thanks to our mobile things and computer, we are the most what should I say, unsocial people we have become. है ना? पहले, I mean, in our childhood days, when these all things were there, people visiting other people's homes at in evenings unannounced, phone nahi karke aata. So that those circumstances are more than that happening today. So I don't know socialization को लोग इतना बढ़ावा क्या है. But anyway, when these things have happened, the first thing that sparked, question inside me was that it happened, as all of the parents, they will be aware that by all over India, by July, August, there is a mad rush of gathering forms from schools. क्योंकि दिसंबर तक एडमिशन होना है, उसके बाद है. So by July, August, suddenly, Niladri, my husband, he got, started receiving phone calls from his friends. उस स्कूल में एडिशन चालू हो गया, ये फॉर्म देना, ये हो गया, चलो चलो वहां पे जाना पड़ेगा, आप ये नहीं गए. So yeah, and we actually put Nishkal to a Montessori school, but around the age of 3.5, not before that. So, in a way, late milestone, we were anyway societally, societal parameters, we were running late. So, when this thing came, then I thought, what is this whole rush about? I mean, it's not Q. What is this thing? So when I started speaking and meeting few friends regarding that, and I found them under a huge pressure and fear. कि नहीं miss हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा. So the first question that came to my mind, that if I take my parents' generation, that those, or the generation that was born around the year of 1940s or 50s, so they were the generation who experienced, suffered, or witnessed the vulnerability of a newly independent nation. So they have their level of, a share of insecurities of financial, security, sarkari naukri ho jaye, and all that assured income and the end of the month and all. So the next generation that we came, 70s, 80s, and all that. So when we came, we were being put to school, and we were growing up. So that insecurity of our parents was there. I understand where they were coming from. नहीं, कुछ भी हो जाए, आप वो कर लो, get a job, get an assured income and all that. So they were not so much open to any other experiment. वो एक तरफ है, but the fear that I understand where they were coming from, but that was primarily driven by financial issues. Now, what I found bit surprising, or थोड़ा मुझे अजीब ये लगा कि when my generation, we came from a very secure place ना. We are not driven by that. We are in a place where we know we will inherit something from our parents. We are doing good jobs and all that. So we are accumulating something for ourselves and enough for the child or children also. But still, when it comes to education and all that, we are still driven by the same fear that was there in the 1950s or 40s. नहीं नहीं होने से, एडमिशन नहीं होने से क्या होगा, फिर ऐसे कैसे होगा, नौकरी नहीं मिलेगा एंड ऑल दैट. So that led to me thinking, what has changed in the last 17 years? Nothing. That same insecurity, if I am well positioned than my previous generation, at least economically, then I should be in a more comfortable or adventurous, whichever you choose to, whichever adjective you choose to, describe the situation, to look at her circumstances a bit differently. But I'm being driven by the same fear as a kid. So anyway, then the admission thing happened and all that. So we visited. I know in my first thing I decided that I will, no matter what happens, I'm based out of Kolkata, so there are many elite schools in Kolkata. But I decided that where this place I stay, my child will not spend more than 15 to maximum half an hour traffic jams to leke to travel to just for to and from school. For travel time, I will not spend that, because in any case I have realized by that time, no matter what kind of school you are going to, at the end of the day, after a certain period of time, from say class 3 or 4, you are going to take tuitions to facilitate your education. So if it is so, how does it matter that I'm going to a nearby mediocre school, or I'm going to a super elite school in any part of Kolkata? Yes, I mean, I really don't want to deep into the debate कि education का कुछ difference होता है and all that, but particularly overall I have found brand value. If you are going to that school, आपको एक brand का थक्का मिलता है जो आगे चल के कुछ काम में आता होगा शायद. I'm not denying that, but basically this thing, at least for a child who is only 4 year old and being upper nursery में जाएगा, अभी तो उसको भी खाना चाहिए. So this one thing I knew, and second thing कि लेट्स गो, लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस कि एजुकेशन का क्या है. तो जहाँ पे बहुत लंबा लाइन पड़ा, हमने कहीं कहीं से भी फॉर्म नहीं लिया. वी ऑप्टेड आउट. हम क्यू में तो इतना खड़े होके वो सब नहीं करेंगे, छोड़ देते. So we found 2 schools there. They were very welcoming. One, your kids went to that Salt Lake Point school. So they were fairly a kind of school ki acha theek hai, aa jao ek din. So we thought when Milaji and I decided ki theek hai, we will go there and let's see how the child is comfortable if the parents are not around. Interview जिंदगी में पहले बार हो रहा है ना, so written बकायदा उनका टेस्ट हुआ, इंटरव्यू हुआ and all that. So let's try that. So वो हुआ, तो for that and they said कि हाँ हाँ आप आके admission लेने हैं. So we were assured that if it is about getting an admission to an institution, at least he has a place to go. So year में ये वो सब तो नहीं होगा. Then we started looking around any school available which has not got affiliation, because I knew that the schools those have not got any affiliations and all that, they are far more welcoming and caring, because abhi shuru karna hai na and all that. We found one, and yes, the experience was same. I would say it was a good experience in the sense the administrator who was there, she was very welcoming, understanding, and because it was a new school, that ratio of one teacher to 15 to 20 students, naturally it was there, because other people were still standing in the queue na. उसको स्कूल में नहीं, I mean non-affiliated स्कूल में नहीं जाना. So Nishkal was there for 3 years, I would say, up to class 1. He was there in the school, and by that time pandemic also happened. So he did 1 year schooling through online school. वो तो that is मतलब another story altogether. So during these times, few more things happened gradually, and I was also speaking to you. And by that time, I also met other people who were homeschooling their children. So, but even we have admitted Nishkal to a regular mainstream school, but Niraji and I, we were contemplating that we will try homeschooling. And few things kept on happening that actually, I would say, solidified our confidence in that. No, yes, we want to do this, and this is the right time. I mean, any time is the right time. If we really wait for that in a particular time, I think that time never comes. So that thing happened. Yeah. So last year from class 2, we pulled him out of school.
So you're saying that you were okay with going to school, when he was going before the pandemic, it seemed to be okay, and that you think could have continued, or you're already sort of thinking that you have to pull him out, or did the pandemic make you pull him out, or because I think it's an important point, because it means that lots of parents are looking for an option like this. They've through the pandemic they've seen that this online schooling business does not work, you know, and if there is an alternative available which people know about, then there'll be lots of people jumping
Hmm.
out of the mainstream thing. So was it the
Hmm.
pandemic that made you homeschool, or were you already thinking about it, or how was it?
I would say I was already thinking about it. The pandemic only provided me the right opportunity or gave me the courage to take that plunge. Because what happened is that when I was witnessing what is happening in online schooling, but still I will not judge the entire schooling system based on that 1 year only, because they were also operating from a place of restriction and limitation also. So what happens in school, there might be a big difference what was happening during online school. But during this time, what happened that this idea of a child is staying at home on a full-time basis with the parent, this thing happened. Now, how you're managing the time, how you're managing your daily routine and what to say, that gave me the final courage to do that. Now, but before that, I was already in this path, and then as I said that few questions, few incidents that lead to me. So my questions were like, during as I began with the part of during the admission process. That first thing to queue and all that, as I said, the fear factor. Still, we are being driven by the same. Now, the second thing that came to my mind, that while this admission thing was going on, you will notice that the age eligibility criteria is there. Say for class, I would take the example of class one. That for class one, what is the age eligibility criteria for admission? Now when you go in to conversation about schooling versus non-schooling, mainstream and all that and everything, a big point comes is that standardization of a process. That is what schooling is all about. Otherwise, uniformity either in dress or in education system, so that you maintain a standard and give an opportunity to everybody and all that. So standardization is a big thing there. Now, if standardization is a thing, then I found that the age criteria for admission in ICSE school is different from CBSE school. And for state, board run school, that is also different. So I found that for class one, in some school, ICSE level, it's 6 to 6.5. In CBS, it is maximum 5.5. In a state board run school, it's almost 7. Now, first question that came to my mind, that say for the political map of India only, in our country only, how come if it is a standardized process, how come different age group children are going for same classes? Matlab, should I consider that ICC schools wale utna nahi matlab kya hai? They are not that intelligent, that's why they are going in a bigger age group to class one. CBSE super genius, easily they are going in 5.5. What is this process is all about? So that was one question. Second, even if I, okay, it's a board based decision and all that, now I will take a single board only. Say, for example, ICSE board. This is something that comes from my experience, that I experienced. If I say that it's an ICSE board, so my son who went to the last school he went to, it was finally they got an affiliation of ICSE, and then I found that after affiliation, how things get messed up, because it's all about competition of competition between ICSE board schools. That I am a better ICSE board school than that ICSE school. How it happens that if this standardization is first is across board. Now, if I come to a single board, that is, say, as I said, ICSE board, I found that class one syllabus of IC 2, 3 different ICSE board schools doesn't match. So what is the process of that? I mean, if it is a single same board, then for say in case of my son, that was, and I'm not exaggerating a bit at all. For class one, the math syllabus comprises of double digit, triple digit, I would say, addition and subtraction along with carryover things and all that. Class 1 में ये सब हो रहा है. And you know, tables up to 50, 1550. हाँ, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो 12 के आगे रट्टा मारने का कोई मतलब नहीं, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. When you have calculator on it, why pressurize your brain with up to table 15? कौन करता है? I mean, practically you have to think, but still, even if I accept all this, then I asked another school, but you know, class 1 same student. No, doesn't matter. हमारे तो यहाँ पे तो इतना pressure नहीं है. And all that. Then third, he said, अच्छा इतना नहीं, मेरा तो उससे भी ज्यादा है, 20 up to table 20, multiplication भी हो गया, division भी हो गया. So then I thought, कि what is the thought process behind this? Why? So these are the questions that started to, you know, bother me in the sense. Now, the last thing that I feel that, and that still drives me, is that these are the things I start. If you see that at time of, you know, this chutti ke time pe, huge big herd of parents waiting eagerly for their child to come and all that. So many sort of discussions are, they go on there, political and families and all that and all that. तो education को लेके ना ज्यादा वहाँ पे discussion नहीं होता है. Very easily. If you really poke someone to say, बहुत pressure है, बहुत pressure. These are kind of things you will say. So I tried to raise. I mean, the people I knew, the mothers and fathers of my son's batchmate. Sometimes I used to try to, you know, start a conversation कि ऐसा क्यों है, क्यों ये पढ़ा रहे हैं and all that. So thing is that generally all of them would agree. Yes, this is right. You know, इतना pressure है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये scientifically ठीक नहीं है, वो artistically ठीक नहीं है, everybody would agree. But then when I would used to ask कि तो इसको क्या कर सकते हैं, थोड़ा बात कर सकते हैं, then everybody would say, नहीं क्या कर सकते हैं, ऐसा ही चलता है, सिस्टम ही ऐसा है. अभी जाके बोलेंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे, टीचर would say your child is, you know, staying behind, वो बच्चा पकड़ रहा है, so my child will be ostracized, or he or she will be marked, or and maybe she will be harassed later, that parent asked too many questions and all that. So they would hide in a shell and not take a action. But here I differ in a single point, that actually are we that helpless that we can't take any action? Because when it comes to, you know, raising fees, you know, in a big manner, when it happens, it regularly happens, you know, school authorities are raising the fees, then all the parents come together na, and they fight, they take things up to court कि ऐसा क्यों है, pandemic में काफी हुआ, otherwise and other times also it happens. So you know how to raise questions, you know how, we all know how to raise objections, and you know, maybe take actions also without caring. At that time you are not bothering ki if that parent is protesting about, you know, raising of fees hike and all that, तो मेरे बच्चे के साथ स्कूल में कुछ गलत होगा and all that. So at that time you're coming together, you're taking action. It all maybe depends where it hits. So when it's something that hits me in a, maybe in my pocket or something, then I'm taking action. But as long as it comes to the syllabus, the quality of education, the way of teaching and everything, I felt in some cases, yes, parents, they see that I am not that acute, or maybe I'm not that well versed on something, so I'm more dependent on the school. But otherwise, in an urban setting where all of us, at least graduates, I mean, the same education system we are coming from, we call ourselves graduate, postgraduate on that, we still don't have the courage or the, you know, urge to come up and ask that why this thing is being taught, what is the thought behind this, do we really need to do this and all that. So there I found maybe there is a, you know, kind of evading responsibility, that I have outsourced this thing to others, so why get involved into it? हो जा रहा है ना, हो जाएगा ऐसे ही, सालों दर सर ऐसे ही सब चल रहा है. People have gone into school, थोड़ा क्या होगा, they will stumble a bit, fumble a bit, but then eventually सब निकल जाता है, 10 to 12 सबका हो जाता है. So this is something I felt like कि नहीं, इतना helplessness नहीं दिखाते हैं. Let me try. I mean, whatever little resource I have, that is by my intelligence or my understanding, my education or finance or something. Let me try to take it. If I am feeling uncomfortable on about something, if I don't feel that this is not right or this is not correct, if there is something available with me, whatever little resource is available with me, I will try to find a solution. Na? Why give up like this? कि अच्छा ऐसा ही होता है, ऐसा ही चलने दो, ऐसे ही. So this was the starting point, and this was happening from the preschool. I mean, वो preschool Montessori उसी समय से ये चल रहा. So the pandemic only gave me the thing, okay, if a kid is homebound, that doesn't mean that that's a very huge problem, managing his time, my time, and everything. That the pandemic only gave me the right, what should I say, the circumstances to take the decision. But the idea and thought and eagerness to take the decision was already there before pandemic.
I was just thinking while you were talking that, one of the things that education is supposed to do is to be able to let you think critically. This discriminatory power, the ability to make decisions based on your understanding of things. And it looks like all of education, school, college, everything is geared to not let you do that. To not let you develop your power of discrimination, to not let you think for yourself. So, which must be the only explanation why, like you're saying, people are not questioning anything, no? It's like, let it be. System ऐसे ही होता है, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Is an indoctrination. Is something that we have been taught and we have learned, and very well. We have been good students of that indoctrination. So that's really how it seems to be going. Otherwise, a little bit of thought by anybody, just objective thought, should show that this is not how things should be. So, so I think one of the great things that homeschooling can do for our children is to let them, teach them how to think objectively. This discriminatory power, the ability to make decisions for themselves, not based on somebody pushing from outside. Everybody is going this way, therefore I have to go, is not a good argument.
No.
Everybody is jumping over the cliff, I will also do because everybody is doing. No.
Right.
So I think that is a great thing. Tell us about your day. How are you practicing it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the first thing to begin with is that, because I mean, you and Kanti must have experienced more than us. That is, you are continuously facing questions. So now, as I was telling you other day, now people have become, bit, I mean, they are not that on the face. They said, we are not with judgment at all. So it's a wonderful thing you're doing, very courageous thing and all that. It's a very nice things to satisfy your ego, and you will suddenly feel कि अच्छा हम तो कुछ अलग ही कर दिया, कुछ ऐसे ही revolution ला दिया इसमें and all that. But then the usual question starts, कैसे होएगा, कैसे पढ़ाई करोगे and all that, and then everything is judged, how you're teaching, how your kid is behaving, on the sidelines, how your kid is speaking, teaching, and interacting with others, that is being judged. So what I always say that as I began this conversation in the beginning, I said that I'm not coming from a place that where I have very strong philosophy or anything to support me. My idea was simple. On neither I'm putting up a very big protest against this existing system and everything. My idea is very simple, that if every child is different and they have their different style of learning or understanding things, just give them the time and pace to understand or learn, nothing more than that. For example, I will take example of my kid only. I found that when it came to language, he was learning very fast, even if it is and particularly auditory. Whenever we are reciting any Bengali poem, English poem, or Sanskrit sloka, he's picking it up very fast, doing it very nicely. But when it came to numbers, he was going bit slow. Slow in the sense, I mean, as per the school system, you can say they're slow. I mean, I don't take it as a slow or go fast kind of thing. What I feel that if I give him time, that if I mean how it is necessary that by this the first week of August, you should be able to recite. I say recite because when it comes to tables, he thinks that these are very bad poems, though that doesn't end with good rhyming words. So that's why he doesn't like tables and all that, but whatever. So ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है ना कि by August if I don't complete say 2-digit addition, then it's a problem. But it is a problem in a schooling system because there will be tests and he will not be able to complete it, and then the usual forming, he's slow, he's lagging behind and all that. So in my case, I am only one and a half year old homeschooling parent. So homeschooling team rather, I would say we have team of 3. So what I said, okay, don't do it now. I gave him 2-3 months, 5 months time, and now he can do 3-digit additions and all that. It was only this much only that give him that time and pace. But in a schooling system, that's not possible. And I understand. I mean, yes, because they are leading. I mean, they are having a say 50 to 55 children in a class. अभी सबका time and pace और वो something है तो class ही बंद हो जाएगा ना. So I understand that. I just wanted him to give this comfort. ऐसा करते हैं. So as I have heard from you and all that, so as of now, what I have done here, I have registered him for NIOS. So this is one thing, as I said, not nothing is perfect. This is one thing I have done out of fear also. अभी fear के बारे में इतना सब कुछ बोल रहे थे ना. So why I did that? Because in case of NIOS, what I found that the policies are changing time to time. So I was a bit worried कि maybe if 7-8 years down the line, if I go ahead and want to get an admission directly at class 10, तब कौन सा गवर्नमेंट रहेगा, कौन सा पॉलिसी चेंज होगा, कुछ इशू होएगा कि नहीं. इसीलिए I tried to admit it, and then he's got registered now. My idea was just to get an outline of the curriculum, that what is there that he should be studying by the age for standard 3 or 4, and accordingly we do things. And in that case, we completely follow you and copy you. I think your books are there, and I always remember, and I am actually finding that true also. So your claim is validated through me that actually textbooks can be covered within 3-4 months, and rest of the time you can do other things also. So that part I can say, I can validate that. And as for the indoctrination you are saying, I found a very nice example recently only. And Nilaji was showing me this one meme that came through WhatsApp. So people were celebrating. I mean, it was it was written that how Indians are ruling the world. And there was they have curated a list of all big, tech giants or something, where India across the globe, in different countries, where Indians are CEOs. And that was now Indians are ruling the world and everything, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat and all that. So we both were laughing over the thing that yes, as a personal kind of, if you say it's an ambition and achievement, individual achievement, yes, that is a great thing. You have managed to, climb the ladder and reach the top. But if it is a parameter for your progress as a race or a nation, what are we celebrating? That I have taken the top job in a company. In that list, is there any single name of an Indian as an innovator or founder of that company? Is it there? So that's why it is completely driven by that thing what we have found, that anyhow it is finally to get a job. जब job ही चाहिए तो ठीक है, as you always say, that उसके लिए मतलब 15 साल तक माथा पीछे क्यों करना है, सीधा जाके 10 or 12 ही दे दो.
So maybe we can stop this. It's been a nice conversation. And also, I wanted to just before finishing, I wanted to say that this list of 4 that you made in the beginning, maybe if you don't fit into that, we should make a separate category for you. You're a special person. That's why you don't fit into any of these categories. So I think your experiment will be successful. I've always been convinced, that because you are a thinking person, and I think any thinking person who can do a little bit of introspection can do this. Take the children out of school. Don't have to go through this. You've listed out so many issues. It's not a small thing, and if there is an opportunity to come out of it, I think we should take it. and I think you will be one of the inspirational people in that journey. हमारा तो सब time खत्म हो गया, हम तो अपना we have done what we have to do, written what we
आपने
have to
राह दिखा दिया. I only say the last thing I would say is that I take this very humbly, because if somebody comes up with me, big logic ki schooling अच्छा and all that, I always surrender ki nahi theek hai, you are correct, I am wrong.
yeah,
Only thing I say that there is uncertainty in everything, in every sphere of life. Even the school can't assure you that certainly yes, your child is going to make it and this and that. So uncertainty is there, uncertainty is here also. I have chosen just this line of uncertainty. As
very good,
simple
very
as
good.
that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That is your large heart, and that is that is your way of being, which is
Uh,
wonderful, really. I think your experiment has already succeeded, and I wish you all the best.
thank you, Arun. But we will keep you pestering, the
No,
veteran of the
you're
field, Arun
welcome.
and Kanti.
No, no, it's a pleasure talking to you every time, whether on phone like this or whatever. Meeting you, we have not met for some time now, but I
Yeah,
look forward to that.
yes, sure.
But
I
yeah,
will.
wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
Shoma. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Arun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Bye.